All right, so we have another Share Your Story today, and we're going to be reading a story from Charlene. And we'll read the story and then we'll do some guidance and a bit of a tarot reading. And so please be reminded that um, this is going to be specifically for a person, but if you pick up any guidance, that's great. But let's be very discerning of what we hear and the guidance that we take from the reading. Hi, I'm Charlene, and I met my person December 31, 2023, as I was manifesting to the universe to give me the one. I even ate grapes when the clock struck 12 midnight. He came out of the blue, actually, and far beyond what I consider my type, but he definitely blew me away. A breath of fresh air, I might say. Crazy how I felt like I instantly knew him when I just met him. And I trusted him instantly, like we've been together for years when we just met, not even a week talking to this man. Everything was nice and blissful till he then slowly pulled back. He started to respond less, show care less. He starts to respond a little dry. Heck, my messages are even left delivered 17 hours before even getting a responsive morning. Nothing more, nothing less. I was worried. I was okay by myself before, but anxiety kicks in that I thought, oh God, no, please, as I was feeling that there's another woman. So 3 weeks I endured that fear and anxiety showing I'm okay. But then I just had the gut to tell him, we'll have to talk. When he saw that message, he didn't respond for 9 hours. I called him 9:30 p.m. He didn't answer and just replied, sorry, I thought I was ready, but I'm still in love with my ex. I am happy having you around, but I was just wasting your time. My heart dropped. I exploded. But in my heart, I knew it wasn't the full truth. Or is it that I just can't accept the fact that, again, when I thought I found my love, maybe, just maybe, it was just in my head all along? Okay, and that is the story. And there is one question by this person. Was I ever loved by him truly, or was I just too hopeful? Thank you. So we'll move on to the reading and guidance. Okay, so we are at the reading and guidance part of the Share Your Story segment. And um, question again was I ever loved by him truly, or was I just too hopeful? So let me first do a general reading here. I mean, it's a general reading answering the question, but we will try to tap into the general essence of the story that you had. Okay. Okay. Seven of Cups. Have three cards for you, and how do I, so that I don't lose the placing. So we have the Seven of Cups, the Four of Cups in reverse, and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So this is either you, but I feel like it's your person, and I feel like that is potentially their energy. Okay. So let's start off by clarifying the Seven of Cups. Ace of Swords, Queen of Wands. You could have Aries, Leo, Sag in your chart. Okay. So to clarify your Seven of Cups, we have these three cards. Okay. So potentially I see you being the Queen of Wands and your person is this King of Swords, okay? So I think generally your energy is somebody that is actually quite confident, somebody that's, quite, maybe if not assertive, just very knowing of your capability, of what you want, right? I feel like you're somebody that can do your own thing. Um, and yeah, you have found yourself in a situation to be quite confusing and overwhelming at the same time, okay? So initially what I get is, and I think you mentioned something here where you had been manifesting that the universe give you the one. They even did that ritual of the whole grapes when the clock struck 12 and all that. Um, so that intense desire, it's been sitting with you, right? And I feel like it's not that that's wrong or anything. It's just sometimes when we go into a situation because we are in this desperate need to have it, right? Um, it also kind of sets the tone of, I really want this. This is something I desire so much. It's so hard for me to have this. And then when the opportunity comes, um, without us realizing, we've actually created like a level of difficulty and burden that we probably don't notice that we do. Okay, because that's what I'm seeing for your energy for some reason. um it's that thing where you think, oh, it's finally here. There's got to be a drawback on this, or like there's something off about this, like you place that, and then when when it does happen, it's like, see, I knew it. See, I knew it, right? And again, I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just trying to describe the energy of what you're potentially showing me in this first card. I think at the onset of this experience, of what you desired, and then the experience happening, you were unintentionally already having the perspective of, this is going to turn into something bad. And I don't know if you're conscious or if you're aware of that, right? Okay, so that seems to be important if that is there. Now for the Four of Cups in reverse. Four of Cups in reverse. So, ooh, cards are all over the place. We have the Five of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the Empress in reverse. Okay. Um, the impression I get is you really feel like you missed out. You missed out on not being with this person, or not that you're not being with them, because obviously you would choose to be with them, but it's like that feeling of, God, they would be you. They would have been such a great blah blah blah. Like you are feeling such a loss of this person because you see so much potential, so many qualities, I think, that this person has that you really identified with, and that you felt like, wow, this is going to be something amazing, right? And I feel like you're really feeling the loss of it. The thing is, you're in reverse here because of that loss, that feeling of loss that you have. Somehow you have elevated this person above yourself. That's what I'm really getting. Like you have elevated the way that you think about this person, you have elevated them above yourself for some reason. Let's see what the Ten of Pentacles in reverse is. You know, I think this is current energy. At one point, you were probably in an energy of acceptance. Like, gosh, if I'm not going to meet the one, then I guess I'm just going to be on my own. I guess that's just how it's meant to be, and maybe that's the way that I need to accept things. Like, I think at one point there was a point here where you were like, okay, I'll be okay. I'll just deal with it, right? And I feel like that comes up because now that everything has happened, you're thinking, why did this person have to come into my life? I was almost ready to just settle into the idea I'm going to be okay. Even with the whole grape ritual, I think you did that just to do that, just because you were trying to manifest. But I feel like half of you was also like, okay, well, if nothing, if I don't have a future with someone in particular, I think I'll be able to deal with it. And then this person came along, you experienced what you experienced, and now you're like, I was going to be okay. Why did you have to drop this on me? Why did this have to happen? And now you feel like you've been set back by so much because now you've experienced this person, and now you've had this potential experience of something for the future, and it's just taken away from you, when before you were dealing with it. Like, it's not like you were happy, but you were dealing with the idea of not having a person, even though you were doing things to manifest it. Okay. I feel like that's the general energy that is being shown to me at this time. Um, just when it comes to you and how you've been trying to manage with the situation, it's not really even giving you the connection so much as your perception of your life and the way that things were going to be. Okay. Now, what I want to clarify are maybe just a couple of points from your story. Okay. Again, you said they came out of the blue, not even really your type, but they definitely blew you away. And isn't it always like that? They're not really your like specific type, but there's just something special about them, and then they just take your breath away and you don't expect it, and then it just becomes this huge thing. I read that a lot from you guys. And then again, that familiarity that you felt, you instantly felt like you knew them and you trusted them. And you know what I want to say is, if you felt these things, you shouldn't feel bad that you felt them, but you will, but you shouldn't. Because it, you know, you could feel like you identified with someone, your soul identified with another soul, right? It's just sometimes it doesn't end up the way that we want it to. Um, Now here's the pullback, right? Which is, I feel like, a natural thing that happens, honestly, in connections that don't have the right footing or that don't have the right intention to begin with. It always does have that pullback energy. And so, like you said, they started to respond less, they showed less care, you know, responding dry and all those things. And then being left undelivered. Don't you hate that when you're left undelivered? Um, See, there we are. I was worried. I was okay by myself before, but anxiety kicks in. And that's, I think, what that last card energy was, where it's like, I was okay. I was dealing with my own stuff. I was handling it. And then now this happens. And now it's created like a panic and you don't like it. And, you know, you sent them a message, right? That you have to talk. The dreaded will have to talk, which nobody wants to really do, honestly. But if you matter enough, you will have the conversation. Okay. And it wasn't until you called and that's when they said what they said. And to be, in all fairness, though, at least this response from this person was, you know, sorry, I thought I was ready. They're still in love with their ex. They're happy having you around, but they are wasting your time. To give some credit to potentially this King of Swords that I think you're dealing with, they were actually honest and forthright. And here's the thing that I want to say, and I say these in the readings that I have. You know, when two people meet, there's no other way to find out if there is compatibility, commonality, defined interest unless you give your time, unless you give your effort. You know, you have to be willing to put that in. And it doesn't mean that when you do that, you are guaranteed the outcome that you want. It's not always going to be that, but you won't find out unless you do. Okay. And I know a lot of the time people will feel like that's so unfair because I put in this work and this is how I feel. But where does it say that when two people connect, they meet, they try to see where they are both, you know, in their life towards each other and separately? Where does it say that they owe the other person whatever the other person wants? Let's just be real. That's not, we don't owe that. Unless the, again, umbrella, you know, just to cover, of course, if this doesn't apply if there was any kind of force or any kind of manipulation. What I'm talking about is if it is two willing adults choosing to explore the connection to see where it would go, how they feel. You won't be able to do that unless you step in this way. But this person had, I would say, at least the decency to tell you that they were happy having you around, but they just feel they're wasting your time, that they're not ready. Would you have preferred this person to pretend and string you along as long as they had wanted? Right? It's better that they were forthright and honest about it. Okay. Now, I know you're not taking offense to that, but you know, these these readings or these share your stories that I have, I know it's just not you. There's other people that are watching that could be needing that outside guidance. Okay. What I want to do is I want to actually pull cards because this reason that they give seems valid. Sometimes we do want to just explore new connections and we want to see will we be able to meet someone new, but we're actually stuck on someone else, right? I mean, is that fair? Not really, but it is what it is. Sometimes we do those things because we need to get out of the energy we're in. So you're saying you don't know if that's the full truth. And again, I feel like sometimes we don't want to hear what people say when even when they say it. Okay. So let's see. This reason that this person gave you, was that the full truth? Is there something more? Okay, see. Okay. I wish I had like the camera on camera thing so you guys could see the cards, but I'm working on that. I'm working on that. They're really showing up as the Queen of Wands here, and with the moon. Okay. So these are the top 3 cards. Okay. And then the bottom 3 cards. Okay. You know, I want to say that I think this person was truthful enough. They were probably enjoying your company. And I know this is going to hurt a little bit, just a little bit, but probably in truth, this person did connect with you. You guys had common things. You guys, whatever in way you guys were aligned, you were aligned. But I think more so for this person, potentially, what they really enjoyed about the connection was the feeling of certain things they were doing that reminded them of how great it was to be in a connection. But it also feels to me that it was those things that they miss in the other connection. What do I mean? Let's say you and this person talk, right? And let's say this is just an example, but like let's say the whole good morning thing, right? Um, let's say they used to do that with the person, their ex. They used to do that with their ex. Good morning, and then it would start off their day, and their day would be great, and they would look forward to the person, and then there was the checking in and all those nice things, and you know maybe they missed that about the ex, and when they met you, they also kind of wanted to fall into the same rhythm, right? And it's not that there's no sincerity in the connection with you, that they feel that with you, but from what I'm seeing, it's more like I miss that familiarity, but it's not with their ex, it's with you. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense the way I'm trying to say it. Because what I'm seeing is difficulty in actually enjoying the connection. I'm seeing difficulty in actually seeing that the connection with you could be a new beginning in love. Why would we have that kind of difficulty if we were actually enjoying the exchange, the engagement we have with that person, solely with that person? Why would it be so hard to enjoy it? Why would it be so hard to imagine something new? It's because we are trying to pattern off potentially from something that we miss, right? And I feel like that's kind of what happened here. And again, I don't want to say there wasn't any sincerity in it, but sometimes we try to find things in other people. And the thing is, we never will. We will never find the same thing, essence, feeling, flavor, whatever it is. We will never find it in other people. If it is specific to a person, it will only be that person that can really provide it to us. Now, does it mean that we cannot find like happiness or enjoyment elsewhere? Obviously not. We still can, but in other ways. And I feel like that's something that I'm seeing from this person, this person that you were dealing with. And I feel like they tried. I feel like there's like this trying, like, well, I enjoy this person's company. I do like our conversations, and but there's a feeling of force here in the energy. Okay, Now you're showing up again as a Queen of Wands. Wait, here's the answer that I have, because your question was, were you ever loved? Were you ever loved by them? Okay. So okay, for you to ask that means that you exchanged love, like, I don't know, messages of love, feelings of love. In your person trying to find that outside of this ex, they were wanting to feel these things, and they may have expressed and said it to you. This is going to hurt a little bit. I don't think this person loved you in that sense of love, romantic love, loved you for, I don't think that was what they really felt. Okay. Um, and I do want to say that that is probably their truth, that they just were not ready, that they are still in love with their ex, and that they were happy having you around, but they knew that they were wasting your time. They knew it. And so I'm going to say, yeah, I think that is the truth for this person. It's not that they didn't have feelings, right? It's not. I mean, but are we going to say it's love? I don't think so. And you know how people are. We say all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Like, we say all kinds of stuff because we want to feel it. We either feel it, we want to feel it, we think we feel it. You know what I mean? So if there was any kind of expression of love, I think it's more of this person could see the value that you have and wanted to feel those things. But if they really did feel it, I don't think they felt it at the level that you may have felt it. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. I know that was it's a bit of a tough one. So sorry. But that's just what I really have. And I'm gonna say I think you were too hopeful. I'll be honest. I think you were too hopeful in the situation. Not that you didn't have any basis to be hopeful, because this person was engaging. They were engaging with you. I don't think this person committed to you. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't think there was any, because this person is too honest. When confronted with the situation, they were too honest. Okay. That I don't think this is somebody that would really put themselves in a place of being very decisive and clear. Like, I don't think that this was a commitment. I don't think that's what it was. I do think it was two people exploring a connection and potentially seeing a commitment, both sides. I do think it was one person who was hoping it would go to the next level, right? And the other person hoping it could be something. You see, that already has a disconnect. Like, one person is like, maybe this could be something. Maybe this will be a commitment. It's that doesn't even meet, if you think about it, right? The intensity of the intention, it's not even there. And that's where the force is coming in. So that's what I have for this. I do want to do some guidance, obviously, for you, and I'll do a bit of tarot card guidance. I know that you have identified happiness with this person. I know that you feel like this is a person that really could have given you everything you thought you wanted, and what you do want, right? It didn't happen that way. Um, it just didn't happen that way. Sometimes there's no reason to it. It is what it is. And it's a hard thing to accept, obviously. That is one thing I want to say, but it might sound a little condescending, or just might sound like a pity, a pit. Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but it's gonna sound like something pitiful. But if you think about it, it is better if somebody is honest with you, even if they had to be confronted about it. It's better that they were honest with you than they leave you hanging. It will always be better that somebody tells you point blank. And for this person to say, I am wasting your time, they are basically saying, I cannot give you what you want. I enjoy your company, I like you, but I cannot give you what you want. If you think about it, you were given a gift that not many people in these kinds of connections get. A lot of the time people will choose to ghost, abandon, block, and not give the other person that kind of clarity. Because believe it or not, that's clarity. That let's take people at what they say and what they do. This person obviously could have they have handled this better, probably, probably. But did they handle it well enough that you could leave the situation knowing what you know? Yeah, they did. They gave you enough that you can walk away from this knowing that there wasn't going to be a future, that you were not going to get the entirety of this person and what they have to give. You can walk away. You have enough of a closure in this way. Okay. I know that you feel like it wasn't the full truth. And I'm just going to be honest, but in some way, that may be because it's hard for you to accept that maybe the way that you had aligned with them and the investment, the major investment that you had with them, wasn't reciprocated. Okay. But going back to what I said earlier, when two people connect, the only way that you're ever going to really know if that connection has any kind of possibility or validity is if you give each other a chance, if you explore it by communicating, by being vulnerable, by doing certain things. It's the only way you're going to know, but it doesn't mean you owe the other person the rest of your life, your commitment, because what if it doesn't align? Okay? Because we can't know unless we're in there. So that's what I want to say. This person, they gave you enough. And I don't know what the duration of this connection is, but it feels to me like they told you as early as they could. They already told you you're saved here from how many months, maybe even years of wasting your time on somebody that from the start knew they could not give you what you deserved, what you wanted. Okay. Um, Partly, I think you also want to know if you should give up. But again, and sometimes my guidance is a little harsh. It's too real. I know. I hear it all the time. But you don't come to me unless that's what you want, right? You're trying to ask yourself if there's a decision to make about this connection when your person has already said, we don't have that kind of connection. I don't see you that way. It's in your face. There's nothing to decide about this. It's been decided. Now all it is for you to energetically decide to walk away, to energetically plan to stop putting energy towards it. But whether or not there's nothing to decide here. There's nothing to think about. And this whole full truth, what full truth? This is what this person said. Take it at their word. Take it at their action too, because they were pulling back from you. Sometimes we're just so stubborn, right? And we want to see more in a situation than there is, but there isn't, you know. In a way, it's like saving ourself, our emotions, our feelings, and trying not to be too hurt about it. Okay. Wanting to know if this person is going to come back. You know, here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say. You and this person probably aligned in a certain way that it would have maybe worked if there wasn't that whole X. There could have been a real potential in this connection. The fact of the matter is, there is an existing X. There is something that holds them back from pursuing this connection. Okay. Now, whether it's they're in love or whatever, that's not our issue to think about or even consider. What you look at is they have a reason. They have a reason to not pursue your connection, period. Doesn't matter what the reasons are. It doesn't matter what's happening. It does not matter. The choice is, I'm not going to pursue this person because this is holding me back. This is, okay. So what you take is the choice, the decision they've made to not pursue this connection, to tell you you're going to be wasting your time with me. Now, potentially, because you're showing me, would they ever come back? Would they ever think about me? Would they ever want to, And let's say they did. Let's say that was something that they realized down the line. Let's say they suddenly have the wisdom to think, oh, you know what, that person was really great. Why was I so hung up on my ex? And they were really great. We actually had such a strong connection. That was actually really good for me. And let's say they start to realize that, right? It is not for me to say whether you would pursue it or not. Okay? And I'm not saying that it will happen, but if it were to happen, you need to make sure this person is actually ready, that nothing is really holding them back. But if they're actually going to do it, I'll be honest, very slim chance. It doesn't look like something that they would really potentially pursue, just because you know, that's the pattern, I think, here that I'm seeing. Like, that's the pattern. If we take this person at their word that it is because of an ex, and they have actually tried to pursue other connections just to be able to move away from this ex, yet they still recognize that they can't. That means that this is a person that tends to have an attachment and a difficulty removing the attachment. The only good thing about them is that they can recognize that, and they can they voice it to you and tell you that, to not tell a person where you stand, that really is, that sucks, right? And it always keeps the other person guessing, and it always kind of keeps the other person hoping and wanting. And I'm telling you right now, to hear this, as hurtful as it is, to hear this is way better than to be left hanging, to not be told the truth, to be told things like, I need more time, or, I can't talk. Like, it is better to hear this kind of truth than to be left hanging. And I think I just want to impress the fact on the fact that you actually were given a good enough, okay, a good enough reason and closure in this situation that you can move forward. Now, all that has to happen here is, how do you manage the feelings that this experience evoked? What can you do on your part to deal with the pain, the sadness, the disappointment? But if we're talking about the connection itself, it's already been cut off. And you don't need any more answers than what you've been given. Okay. Um, that's how I'm really seeing this. And I do want to give you like guidance here. I'm gonna use this deck. I like this deck. Sorry, I'm always like reaching out of the okay. I try to keep these readings light just because they are so heavy in nature. And so um I want to say that your feelings do matter here, and that you shouldn't consider them as feelings that were wasted, also as feelings that you would discount. If you felt them, then they were valid. It's just that maybe now is the time to look beyond the feelings, look at the situation for what it is, and then now handle the feelings. Does that make sense? I feel like you're a very practical person. You come off to me as very practical in your energy and even in your words. Um, but this fear that you're also showing me that, oh God, I found myself in a situation like this, know what I'm going to do. You're Queen of Wands. I mean, coming up as a Queen of Wands, to begin with, you're quite strong, and you can definitely manage. Okay. Is it going to be a bitch of a setback? Yes. But can you handle it? Yes. Okay. So let's get some guidance for you. I hope this reading wasn't too hard. Sometimes I worry when I do these readings and I'm so direct and honest that, I feel like sometimes I cut through people's hearts. And I don't mean to do that. It's just, I always go back to my own experience when I wish I had that cutthroat knowledge, like just with your situation, a person telling you, I thought I was ready, I'm still in love with my ex, I was happy having you around, but I was just wasting your time. To even just receive that, to me, is a gift. I feel like that is something that I would welcome rather than being told, I can't talk now, I need more time and things like that, because that's leading a person on, right? Whereas this person, although it hurts, telling you this is a gift if you choose to see it that way. Okay. So you got 3 cards plus bottom of the deck. So first is allowing. You can see that, but I'll read it. It says, radical acceptance says yes to reality in any given moment. So what's needed can come next. Come on. Right? It's more about allowing yourself to receive the reality of the situation, which I've been trying to press upon you. I might have been doing it a bit roughly, but kind of putting it in your face. And then that's the acceptance. That's where the acceptance comes in. Receiving. Every day it becomes easier to receive the highest divine plan and to trust my inner guidance. And that's the thing. I know that this is you coming off of a manifestation you had to meet the one, and then you meet this person, and it's like, and then it ends this way. As as bad as it might sound, it's not like the universe is punishing you, and it's not like the universe was trying to trick you. It's nothing like that. The universe wanted you to experience something here, okay? The universe wanted you to have this appreciation for this experience. And you may not know why now, but you will later on when the time is right, when the time comes. And it always works out that way. But we don't look at it that way because all we ever think is when something happens to us right now and we don't have the resolution or we don't have the understanding that it was pointless. It's never pointless. Everything has its reason and its purpose. Okay? Change. When the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to a sacred crossroads in your own evolution. I'm going to say something, and it's not to spite, and it's not to make fun. It's just that this is going to sound really bad. But, you were manifesting the one, right? You even did the whole grapes, and then you said the one, and then you got this person. In a sense, you did get what you wanted. The problem here is when you were manifesting the one, did you have the ideal criteria? What was the definition of the one for you? Okay. I feel like this card to me, it's like, well, you wanted this and now you got it, but maybe it's trying to teach you to be more, I don't know, clear, discerning, strive for better. I know it sounds really bad when I say I can hear it in my head that it sounds bad, but there's a purpose as to why you had to meet this person, experience these feelings, because you can consider it as like when you're a boxer and you're going to get knocked out. You had to have been knocked out, right? Because you need to experience the knockout, so in future fights the knockout isn't going to be as bad. I hope that's a good analogy to kind of refer to when you're trying to understand my guidance here. um Bottom of the deck right now. Stay in the present and don't get too far ahead of the flow. You'll soon trust that nothing more will come than can be handled each moment. This is an experience you needed to have in this point of your life at this time, because you were meant to meet this person, you were meant to experience them, you were meant to enjoy your connection, you were meant to learn something from it, and you have the opportunity and the right to decide what this connection means to you. But it wasn't ever supposed to discourage you from potential future, from having what you truly want. And in fact, it kind of helps you to identify better. So I hope this reading, I felt like it was tough. I hope it wasn't too tough, but I feel like it was tough. And the things I've said here, they are to what I see in the energy. Again, at the end of the day, you get to decide how you want to see this, what you want to feel. But if anything resonated, then I hope, that you see that the guidance here was not to let yourself feel like you were unimportant, to know that this person, to their best of their ability, they could have really tried in this connection, but that maybe it just wasn't the connection. Okay. So all of this is said with support, love, care, and I hope that the guidance was helpful.